diva. But when you're good, it's not bragging. And elite wide receivers and the confidence they exude often permeates an entire team, and we're going to see a couple of examples of that in this one. Welcome to Reynolds Razorback Stadium, home of the Arkansas Razorbacks. As we'll see a squad from the Big 12, a group with a lot to prove here today. Taking on a team that ranks in the top 5 in this conference, the Arkansas Razorbacks. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. Stadium buzzing, kickoff team on the field, and we are ready to get this thing started. And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. The Razorbacks offense will get the first crack at it here. This wide receiver matchup is one that we've been waiting to see. You have two guys on either side, Jesse, who are really going to make the secondaries nervous.
Oh, they should, because these guys can take the top off the defense. You've got two very dynamic individuals playing on each offense, and I'm playing quarterback in this game for either team. I am going to take my shots and give my guy an opportunity, because both of these guys, David, have proven they can make circus-level catches.
I mean, when they're not open, they're open. I mean, they can make the dynamic catches, the contested catches. They have the speed. They are two of the best playmakers in all of the country. So whenever an offense has the football today, you're going to like the show.
And this is dropped. Incomplete pass. He had a huge gain in his fingers, and he couldn't hold on. His first one of the day gave that leg a workout 5 times in last week's victory. This is a spot you see many returners try to take a chance, but not this time. Fair catch just inside the 40. And we've got a superb matchup to watch here, David. One of the best quarterbacks in the country, and how much will he be willing to challenge one of the best corners in the land?
Well, and it's going to be more interesting to me, Jesse, do they let him make a play? Like, does he choose to go after him and believe in his ability and believe in his matchups, or do they stay away from him? Because a lot of people stay away from him. He's that good out wide that you don't want that smoke. And I'm interested to see, Jesse, if he has the onions to go after the corner and try to make plays.
Well, one thing we know about him for sure is he's a believer in his own arm talent. He's the kind of guy that thinks he can fit the football into the smallest windows, but you're right. He's got to pick his battles and be careful when he decides to attack this guy, because he has picked off some really good quarterbacks in the past, and you know he's just licking his chops, hoping for a chance today.
Caught in the backfield. It's Burden. Got the completion, but nowhere to go as that defense reacted quickly. Going to swing it on second down. Just a short pass to the tight end. And that had all the makings of Mark Meat windshield, but how about the little corner taking on the big tight end and keeping him from getting the first? On third down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. And the incomplete pass will bring up fourth down. They'll send out the kicker here. This whole place going to see if this kicker can operate in a sea of noise. From 55 yards out, and he's got it. Never a doubt.
How nice is it as a head coach to have a kicker like this? It makes these decisions on fourth down so much easier. Just strut him out there and let him stroke it through the uprights.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. And Arkansas ready to send out this offense. The give to the running back from the shotgun. Picks up the first down, still moving. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. And the Razorbacks want to move quickly. Going to the ground is what the Razorbacks love to do, to move those chains with guys like Peyton Hillis and Darren McFadden.
Yeah, and you think of just Felix Jones along with the same era, just guys that toted the rock with some physicality, just tough guys that make you bring your lunch. When you want to come tackle them, you better bring it.
Here comes the heat. He's got it. Dragged down, but they'll move the the sticks for a first down. The Razorbacks come to the line with a fresh set of downs.
A nice passing game by this offense. The quarterback and the receiver on the same page, in time, in rhythm.
Breaks into the open. 10. Touchdown, Razorbacks. And once he got away from the knee, they had no shot at catching him.
I love the execution on that play. Great blocking up front just to get the ball carrier an opportunity in the second level of the defense. And then at that point, it was make a guy miss and use the speed. That was a perfectly executed play.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point makes it 7-3. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And he's going to bring it out of the end zone. Stopped at the 17, and he's probably second-guessing that return. So we'll see this offense make its way out to start the drive. Rides to back and leaves it. Finds some space, enough to get 5 to the 22. 6-yard pickup on first down. Leaves him with 2nd and 4. Fires to the big fella. Tackled at the 28. It's a pickup of 5. Offense has it at the 28 on first down. Looking downfield on first down. Quickly out to the tight end. Tackled almost immediately. They're well short of the first down. This is a designed run. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. Unloads to the wideout. That's caught. It's Burden. And he gets it done on 3rd down. They move the chains, and they'll mark it at the 44. Looking to throw on first down. Got a man. It's Torres. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down. Wants to go up top on first down. Quickly complete. Oh, the sweet feet. All the way down to the 25-yard line. They move the sticks. It's first down.
And I think this receiver's forte is his route running. He's a guy that can line up all over the field, but it's not just catching post routes and goes. This guy can run shallows. He can run slants. He can run the option routes and find soft spots in the defense. This guy really has all the routes in his toolbox.
They're down to the 25 on 1st and 10. Wants to keep it in the air. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. The give to the back. Tackle is made right at the 20-yard line after a pickup of 4. Big 3rd down in the red zone, and this crowd is getting behind this defense. Caught close to the marker. It's Torres. He's run out of bounds after the big gain, and they are in business. 1st and goal. From the gun, looking for a man. Looking to get it in. And it'll be a touchdown.
One of the reasons this offense is so exciting to watch, they've got guys that are dangerous after the catch. And if this quarterback gets through his progression, David, hits you in stride, these guys will take it to the house.
Man, it's your job to do the rest, right? You hit me in stride where I don't have to stop running. I don't have to break down. It makes it so easy, the connection between quarterback, wide receiver. You can tell this is a good one, and that's why they got 6 on that play.
And the extra point puts them up by a field goal. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Hey, fellas, big update in a top 5 game today. Texas is in front. They've played awfully well today in DKR. And while there's no Ricky Williams or Earl Campbell out there, this group is fighting. They're up by 7 over Georgia. We'll circle back if anything big happens in a 1 versus 2 matchup you need to know about.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final.
And they get to the quarterback and get the sack. That's a big emphasis for this defense. They saw a week ago, this offense gave up 3 sacks. They need to get to him early and often and create some indecision. Nice job getting a sack early in this football game.
And the Razorbacks trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. Back to throw, it's Daniel. Snagged out of the air. And a good job of coverage by that defense, just a short pickup. This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Pressure coming. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up. The Razorbacks will bring the punt team onto the field. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. He'll get it up to about the 44-yard line before they slam the brakes on it. They'll open this drive and snap it from the 44. First play of the drive, wants to throw. Caught over the middle. It's Torres. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that 1st down mark. He'll keep it himself. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. To the air on 1st down. Bringing the heat. And he avoids the hit and slides after the short gain. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Line getting set on 2nd down. Looking to fire. Got him downfield. Bulldozes his way through. Out of bounds right at the 20-yard line. Edge of the red zone, and they have their eyes on a score. Wants to throw on 1st down. Using the quick game. And they'll make the stop, and we are headed to the end of the 1st period. Had a chance to talk it over during the break, and they'll start with 2nd down. Lots of time left and ready to go back at it here in the 2nd quarter. They'll line up for a 2nd down play. Pulls it and fires to the left. That throw and catch gets them down to the 6, and the defense is running out of answers. This offensive scoring position with a fresh set of downs. A 1st down run on the doorstep. And he got nothing, and the line of scrimmage is still the 5-yard line. Picked up some of what they needed on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and goal from the 5. Back to pass. Looking for the goal line. They've got it down to the 3-yard line. Really well done on that throw and catch. On 3rd and goal, you can't hear yourself thinking. Takes it into the end zone for a touchdown.
You know, this guy's had a big role in this offense this year, especially when they get down closer to the end zone. That's his 5th rushing touchdown on the year. He's been a factor for these guys offensively.
Attempt to try. And with the extra point, they're now up by a touchdown and a field goal at 10. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. Fielded in the end zone, it's Woodhead. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. The Hogs send that offense back onto the field. The give out of the gun. This time he doesn't get loose, and finally the defense gets him bottled up behind the line.
And this offense on first down, man, they go backwards. And they built a deficit, and they've been sluggish. And they just need something to get going, to get started, because they've kind of looked out of sorts and out of rhythm this whole game.
To the air, it's Daniel. Fires to the right. Wide open downfield. This senior showed some serious arm strength firing that one in for the first down. This proficiency in the passing game can take you back to yesteryear, one of the great quarterbacks in Arkansas history, in Joe Ferguson.
Yeah, just slinging the pill, just being able to provide balance, being able to attack down the field, get people out of the box, and not be predictable. That's a really good job by this quarterback.
Second down, they'll go to the air. Gets it out fast. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first. Fires to the middle. It's incomplete, and he's lucky to get that one back. Almost intercepted. And the Razorbacks send out the punt unit. He's going to try to flip the field with this one. They'll get him down at the 21-yard line. The coverage team able to stop him right there. Out comes the offense as they get set to take over. And the defense makes the stop after a minimal gain. Trying to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Looking for a crease. It's Dennis. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. On third and long, try to convert through the air. And the incomplete pass will bring up fourth down. They bring the punter onto the field now. They'll have to punt for the first time this afternoon. No return coming here. Fair catch is signaled for and made just shy of the 30. And Arkansas ready to send out this offense. They're going to run it to the right. Plows through the defense. He'll go out of bounds at the 38-yard line as this offense patiently tries to work the ball out of its own end.
The offense has a little bit of success on the ground, and they're up. Look at them. They're ready to go again, back on the line of scrimmage, ready to run another play.
Well, the defense didn't have a lot of time to celebrate that last big play because here's the offense right away back at the line of scrimmage, ready to roll again with temper.
Off play action. Under fire. And he dropped it. It looked for all the world like that would be a catch, and he just got too excited. The Razorbacks will try to pin them back with the punt. He'll try to really get into this one. Fair catch is signaled for and made. They'll mark it at the 12, and they'll start in a bit of a hole. Guys, this offense will go back on the attack. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. Weaves his way ahead and gets 5 out to the 18-yard line. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. Pulls and throws off the RPO. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on third down.
3rd and 1, everyone knows it's coming, but the quarterback sneak is so hard to stop. They just got to get 1 yard. Nice job by the offensive line.
Well, a really good push by his center on that last play, making it easy for his quarterback to just tuck the football, belly it, get low, and drive your legs.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Red pass, it's complete.
Great play by the cornerback. He was just way too physical at the point of attack. He beat his man trying to block him, and he tackled that receiver on the screen.
Grabbed in the middle, it's Burden. And he gets it to the 44-yard line. It'll be a first down. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Now they'll line it up from the 44 on 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Gets it out quickly. And they pick up just a few on that completion. What will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? It's complete. Offense on the move. A big Big play there. Gets it to the 30. Let's see how they set the tone on 1st and 10. Looking downfield on 1st down. Grabbed in the backfield. It's Dennis. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. The play action fake. Throwing right. Picked off inside the 20, and they snuff out the threat. Down to the 36-yard line, and some nifty moves to try to make a big play on the interception. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. The Hogs send that offense back onto the field. They've punted the last 3 times they've had it, and now really needing to put a score on the board on this possession. And he fires over the middle. It's incomplete. They're dealing with a 2nd and long. Looking downfield, it's Daniel. Finds the tight end. Really short gain on that one. Defense all over it. And the Razorbacks in the hurry-up. Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down through the air. That pass not close as he got drilled trying to deliver it, and it'll bring up 4th down. The Razorbacks decide to punt it away. They've been busy out there to punt for the 5th time today. He'll call for the fair catch and make it at the 14, and they'll be backed up to start this drive. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. Powers through the defender. Works his way ahead for 3. They'll spot it at the 18. After the 3-yard pickup, they come to the line 2nd and 7. Wants to go up top. Got his man on the outside. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line. The defense going to stop the clock with a timeout. They want to make sure they have everybody on the same page. Punt is in the air. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. Looking to throw on 1st down. Got the quick pass. He'll be shoved out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And the Razorbacks with myriad options after that big pickup on 1st down. Looking to throw, it's Daniel. Zings it complete to the right. And he's brought down after a nice gain. They're in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 20. Wants to go up top on 1st down. Pulls it in. And he'll step out of bounds after a very productive play. Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. Looking to fire. And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hit. Now facing a 3rd and long. They just keep firing. Almost intercepted in the end zone, and what a red zone stop that would have been. It'll be 4th down. And they're going to head out to line up for a field goal. The holder will kneel at the 24, a 34-yarder coming from the right hash. It's good. Easy call for the refs. They're back to within a touchdown. 17-10 is the score.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but, man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
On the run from inside his own 5. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. They'll get a chance to work on that hurry-up offense here in the final minute of the 1st half. They go to the wide receiver screen. The offense wastes no time getting the timeout call. So now it's 2nd and long. effective pass. Got it in the middle. It's Burden. He's close to the first down, but they're going to mark him just a little short. Offense calls a timeout here. Critically important to make sure they have the right play call and everyone on the same page here. They'll go to the air on 3rd and short. Grabbed over the middle. It's Singletary. They get him on the ground. Late in the half, they have the first down at the 41. To the air on first down. Unloads to the right. Got the big tight end on the corner route. Gets it to the 37. Clock stops to move the chains. Quick timeout from the offense to save precious seconds. It's first down from the 37-yard line. Wants to throw on first down. Fires to the right. Intercepted. A first half turnover can swing momentum. And they make the play and make sure there's not any scoring opportunity right here before the end of the half.
Man, another mistake by this. Listen, he is an elite quarterback. He's really, really good. He's pressing too much. Jesse, the #1 job of a quarterback, you better protect the football. I don't care how good you are, you better protect it.
Yeah, you just got to take what the defense is giving you, and I agree, David. It looks like right now he's trying to force the big play instead of just checking it down or throwing away. He's got to do a better job working through his progressions right now. He's got tons of talent, but he's making bad decisions.
Quickly to the tight end. He goes out of bounds right at midfield. Just enough time for one final play of the half. Back to throw, it's Daniel. A shot toward the end zone. He can haul it in, incomplete. They took a shot, but that's how we'll wrap up the half. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Guys, you've been calling an intriguing one so far in Fayetteville. And yes, football is a game of inches, but man, is that really the case when you consider the length of some of these possessions. Look, I'm not an analytics guy, but I do know this. The team that sustains drives and just moves the sticks might be the team that comes out on top today. With that said, let's send it back to the guys at Razorback Stadium.
He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. So much for the idea of halftime settling down this crowd. They are ready to roll in the second half. And here comes the heat, and they get home, and they get him at the 21.
And I think this team knew going into halftime trailing, their defense was going to have to step up here in the second half. And on the very first play of the third quarter, they get a sack. That is good news for this defense.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. They'll run play action. Got his man on the right. There he goes. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36. Pass completion, move the sticks, and let's see if they try it again. Rushes on him. He just missed the target on that one. Got to put it on his body. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. Wants to go up top. Oh, they're after him. And the defense makes a play, and they get the quarterback down at the 26.
This defense has the ability to get pressure on the QB from the edge. And I don't necessarily mean from defensive ends, but from the outside linebackers. These guys get in their sprinter stances, and they come off the ball. That outside linebacker showed you his speed right there.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, he'll need to push it downfield. He lost one down the sideline. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch. Sometimes in life, there's only one thing to do. Punt. And they should punt. just need to crack to get a return. And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. They'll ride the running back and leave it with it. At midfield, he's got room. He's piled up 82 yards on the ground, and he has his eyes fixed on leading the nation in rushing.
What a phenomenal job in the open field, breaking off the long run, and they're not going to just take their time and huddle up to get the next play call. They're right back at the line of scrimmage, going tempo.
And how about that play by that giant, that mountain of a man on the defensive front? Looking for space, it's Peters. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground. The Razorbacks want to pick up the tempo. It's a draw. They'll pick up enough yardage for the first down. They've got it at the 30. They moved the chains on the ground last time. Let's see if they try to hit him up top. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Caught in the backfield, it's Peters. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Looking to pass, it's Daniel. Finds his man. A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the first down. And the Razorbacks come to the line with a new set of downs. He'll do it himself. They get him on the ground, but not before he drives it to the 10-yard line. Operating in the red zone here on second down. He'll pull it on the read. Wrestled down at the 8-yard line as they threaten deep in the red zone. Really need to pick up this conversion and avoid having to settle for the field goal. They'll stick to the ground looking for the marker. And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This defense is going to have to do a better job being physical. That's 2 rushing touchdowns they've now allowed. They have got to be better close to the line of scrimmage.
Setting up for the extra point and the top. And after that extra point, we have a tie ball game in the third quarter. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Fellas, big update in a top 5 game today. Texas is trailing, but they are within striking distance. Kind of like when Major Applewhite turned a huge deficit in the 2001 Holiday Bowl into a win. Maybe today is deja vu. It's just a field goal game. They're trailing by 3 to Georgia.
Complete in the middle.
We'll keep you up to speed if anything changes in this contested top 5 matchup, guys.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. One big play, and now they've got it at the 42-yard line on first down. Use the play fake, now to throw. Fires to the tight end.
Well, it's a nice job, too, the quarterback after the play fake there, getting his eyes down the field. He had to get that to his tight end quickly, knowing he wasn't going to have a lot of space to run with after the catch.
To the air on second down. Complete downfield. And they got the defense on that one, and they get it to the 29-yard line. This offense lines up feeling awfully good after that big play. Makes the grab.
Now, you've seen the evolution of these slot receivers. They just match up nightmares. They're hard to get your hand on. A lot of times, they're off the football. You can't jam them. These guys are so productive, and offenses really feature their best players most time in those slot positions.
Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on third down. Snagged in the middle. It's Burden. He gives him a fresh set of downs, and this one will be first and goal from the 6. The offense threatening, close to the end zone now with a new set of downs. Off play action on first down. Looking for the score. Steps into the end zone for a touchdown. Well, they started with horrible field position, but ended with perfect field position in the middle of the end zone.
It all comes down to execution, Reese. You've got to have guys going out and doing their jobs. You saw the offensive line up front. They were physical. Skilled players made it happen with the ball in their hands, and the quarterback really showed command on that last drive.
Lining up for the PAT. And the extra point is true, and they're on top by 7. So a drive there of 85 yards, and they get it into the end zone with a 6-yard touchdown pass. The returner's going to try to see what he can get. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. And Arkansas ready to send out this offense. They stuck the last drive in the end zone. They'll try to follow suit here. Looking to the big tight end. On target to the left. And he's got enough for the first down. It'll be at the 35.
That's a really nice looking throw, and I'll tell you, he fits in great with this offense because there's been this philosophical shift recently in the SEC offensively. It used to be you had to run the football. I formation, 3 yards in a cloud of dust if you wanted to win. But today, though, you have got to be able to throw if you're going to win. You think about all the great offensive play callers now in the SEC, all the Heisman Trophy winners that have played recently at the QB position. You got to do it through the air, and this guy in Arkansas gives them a chance.
He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down. Dropping back, it's Daniel. Right down the middle. Intercepted, and that is the last thing they needed. They bring him down, but that great defensive play might be overturned. Let's see what the call is. They'll decline the penalty here, and the result of the play stands. Tight end now in motion. Coming out on first down with the play fake. Got it in the middle, it's Torres. Makes the grab, but not quite enough for the first down, but a good gain on that play. Second down coming up. Grab near the marker, it's Burden. And he's knocked down immediately, but not before he moves the chains. Some fresh air. Oh, he's got some space. They make the stop, but he'll have enough yardage for a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Pulls and fires it complete to the right. That one takes it down to the 13-yard line. Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. Now the play fake. Got his man quickly. Now the connection takes it to the 11. Boy, they'd love to pick up this conversion and go to work with a first and goal. Quick strike complete. He's trying to get it in. They make the stop at the 5-yard line, and they've got it first and goal. Snapped it in the shotgun. Under fire. He's going for the goal line. And it's in for a touchdown.
Love the thought process by the quarterback here on this play. Nobody open in the end zone. Find your check down. Find the running back. He does that, and once this guy's got the ball in his hands, he shows you that elusiveness and his ability to sniff out the end zone.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And he knocks the extra point through the uprights. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. On the move from inside his 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. They'll snap this one to start the drive from their own 22. Quarterback on the keeper. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. So the final period starts with a second down play. And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. As we start the fourth quarter, it'll take a pretty sizable comeback to win this one. Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Dropping back, it's Daniel. Looking down the middle. Got his man downfield. And a pickup of better than 30 yards on that completion before the defense brings him down.
And in this offense, you know, as a quarterback, you're going to get opportunities to put up some pretty big numbers. You've been impressed watching this guy play early this year. With that last pass completion, he's now already over 2,000 yards on the season.
And he won't quite get there, but boy, after that pickup, just a few inches to go for the first. An array of possibilities here. Second and short, maybe looking for a shot. Quick completion on the out. He's all the way down to the 27-yard line, and they are threatening. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. The Razorbacks are rolling down the field. Wants to throw it. Pocket breaking down. Can't make the grab. Quarterback just missed him a little bit. What will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? Looking to fire. This time he's got his man. They make the stop, trying to pick up just a little bit at a time to get to that first down marker. From the gun, he'll try to throw for it on 3rd down. Makes the catch, and he will score! Touchdown, Razorbacks!
Really nice job working the route, getting himself open. He was able to locate the football, snag it out of the air, and this guy now has 5 receiving touchdowns on the year.
PAT unit on the field. And the extra point draws them closer. It's 31-24. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. Okay, so here comes the offense returning to the field. They'll give it to the back. Works ahead for a couple. They'll stop him at the 27. Got 3 on first down and 2nd and 7. Wide receiver going in motion. Back to pass on 2nd down. Throws for the tight end. And they can't make the connection, and it could get worse. A penalty flag on the field, and it's in the holding zone. Let's get the call. Amazing how many times an offensive holding penalty will stall a drive. We'll see if the offense can overcome it. Second down, he'll throw it. The sure hands, it's Burden. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36. First down for this offense. Looking to throw on first down. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on first down. Backed up now, here's 2nd and long. Back to pass. Catch in the middle, it's Burden. And he's able to bounce off one tackle for a solid pickup. Big 3rd down as the crowd gets behind this defense. They'll try to get the first through the air. High coverage and an incomplete pass. The defense knocks it away and forces a 4th down. The punt team makes its way onto the field. Takes it on the return. Pretty solid coverage there, and they'll stop him at the 26. The Hogs send that offense back onto the field. Not the day they had hoped to have, but when you are a ranked team, you are going to get everyone's best shot, and now let's see if they can pull this one out. And they couldn't make the connection on the long shot. They're dealing with a 2nd and long. They'll move the wide receiver. Trying play action. Fires to the wideout. He's open on the right. And they reacted well to the completion, but it was too late to keep them from getting the first down.
And after that long completion for the first down, did you see everybody sprinting to the line of scrimmage offensively? They want to go tempo right now.
And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. And the Razorbacks moving quickly to the line. Look, you can't take away everything, right? So you give them that and rally and make a solid tackle.
Yeah, and a lot of times in zone coverage, I like when I can get all the eyes on the quarterback. I like when I can see the routes and see him develop in the middle. And you could tell they had keys on the tight end. He wasn't going anywhere after he caught that football.
They'll make the stop about a yard short of the first down. Trying to do it on the ground. Jukes his way for more. Really good surge for this offense. They move the chains, and he's got it at the 34. In search of that tying touchdown. They've moved the chains a couple of times. It's 1st and 10 again. Use the play fake. Now to throw. And that one falls incomplete, trying to get a chunk play on that one. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. Looking to throw, it's Daniel. Immediately fires to the middle. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few. It'll be 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Fires to the middle. It's caught downfield. Just across the 20 with a first down at the 19. From the gun, the running back looking for room. They get him on the ground, but not before he drives it to the 10-yard line. 2nd down coming up on this red zone opportunity. From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. They get him stopped, but those feet kept moving until he was down to the 5. And guys, if they can make their way into the end zone, we'll have a tie game in the 4th, and the stage will be touchdown, Arkansas! And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house. Looking for the tie with the extra point. And the extra point was good, and we are all tied up in the 4th. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Week in and week out, guys, you never know what's going to happen in college football. Check this out. The home team has the lead right now, but this crowd is restless. They just haven't been able to separate themselves yet today. The away team is hanging in there, but they're going to need some...
Nowhere to go. The ball's loose. Defense falls on the ball. Going to be a turnover.
What a clutch stop for this defense. You get in the 4th quarter, you got to make those plays, get the ball back to your offense in a position now to go take the lead in this ball game.
And Arkansas ready to send out this offense. They tied it up with a touchdown drive, got some good work from their defense, and now here in the 4th quarter, an opportunity to move on top. He'll be hauled down just inside the 10 of the 9 as they're trying to turn this into a score. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Got it behind the line. It's Maddox. Crisp execution in the passing game, and they've got it down to the 3. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Razorbacks trying to cash it in on 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. 2nd and goal for the offense. Trying to pound their way in. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. They're going to run it. He's going to lose a yard on that one. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. And now on 4th down, they will put it on the shoulders of the kicker to save them with his foot. Smashes it between the uprights. And now they regain the lead.
And I think I like the call, man. You got an opportunity to take the lead in the 4th quarter. Go for the kick. He executes it perfectly. Defense, now it's your turn. We got the lead. We got to get a stop.
And he takes this from inside the 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. And now the offense will come onto the field again. And the timing just a hair off. So now it's 2nd and long. Wants to go up top. Using the back as a receiver on the screen. They ripped off 7 on that one. Now a 3rd down and 3. Trying to pick up a 1st down. On 3rd and short, they'll try to throw for it. And it's incomplete despite some serious arm strength shown there. And here comes the punt team. They may have to pay him overtime. He's punting for the 5th time today. On the move, looking for a little sliver of hope. Returns like that are why you don't settle for the fair catch if you don't have to. Picks up just a little bit of yards to help out the O. The Hogs send that offense back onto the field. Always good to get points on a drive, David, but chip shot field goals can leave you a little empty.
And I think it's great to get points, but the great teams get touchdowns in the red area. You got to get out there this time and execute a little better on this drive.
You're absolutely right, David. Generally, the best red zone offenses are the ones that run the ball the best. So let's see if they can be a little bit more physical in this one.
Nice job to keep it himself, find the 1st down marker, and move the chains for this offense. The handoff, keep working on that clock. Talk about a timely run. Gets the 1st down. Clock keeps moving as they try to finish the deal.
No mystery on that play. With the lead, we are going to run the ball. You know it's coming, and we are running right at you. Right into the teeth of the defense, and they're still able to get a nice game.
The give to the right. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if it stands.
Offside, defense.
That's just a mental error. On defense, you got to watch the ball. I understand the quarterback shouting and he's clapping and there's all this crowd noise, but you just got to hone in, watch the football before you come out of your stance.
And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that 1st down. He'll keep it himself. Couldn't quite nudge it in. Not sure you could get much closer, but it'll be 1st and goal. And the Razorbacks pounded the rock to move the sticks, now back to work. They'll send the tight end in motion. They'll try to power it in. And he takes it in for a score. Touchdown, Razorbacks!
I like the aggressive play calling by the offensive coordinator on that drive as well. There are a lot of coaches that would have played it very conservative, very close to the vest, run the ball, and punt it away. Count on your defense, not this guy. He was going to take some shots, zone guys to get it done. And now with that touchdown late, they've got a 2-possession lead.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And with the extra point, they're now up by a touchdown and a field goal at 10. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. Out of the end zone. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. All right, guys, so here's the offense back on the field again. They'll start this drive going to the air. Fires to the big fella. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. A little bit more to go after that last completion. They'll try to pick it up on second down. Looking to fire. Finds his tight end. They're able to get him stopped just shy of the first down mark. The 2-minute timeout arrives, and we've certainly seen miracles in college football, and they will certainly need one here. They'll try to pick up the first through the air. And a missed opportunity on third down as the defense knocks it free, and fourth down is coming up. Going for the marker on the ground. He is stopped short of the line to gain. The fourth down try goes awry, and that might just do it. And with the game all but decided, this quarterback will take a knee. With the win today, they're now bowl eligible, and that's certainly worth celebrating, at least to some degree, wouldn't you say, guys?
Yeah, listen, at the start of the year, there are a lot of goals that get put up on the blackboard. Reaching a bowl game is one of them. So now you can go ahead and check that off. But if you're this football team, you're not celebrating that tonight. You're looking to build on this win moving ahead because they've got bigger goals down the road, Dave.
They do, and they've shown you some good flashes throughout the season, man. Some moments that really say this team could be really, really good. And so I think you continue to improve. You know at the end of the season, I get to take a vacation. Wherever the bowl game is, we get a free trip with my boys, but there's some work to be done still.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.